I have no idea where I'm at inside this video that you're watching. It could be in the middle, it could be at the beginning. If so, welcome back to Aaron's 1972 Datsun 510. It is the first day that I am working in the garage in 2021, although this video will be much later in the year. So Happy New Year to you! And it doesn't really matter because you might find this 10 years later on YouTube, and so the day of the year doesn't really make a difference. But I have got this all 2K primered, and now I'm going to go ahead and do a quick sand down of it, and I'm also going to do some glazing putty over here along the side, and we're going to get this thing all ready to go. So let's do this. I'm hoping that you can see this, but there's some leftover remnants where the original line here sort of picked up or had the tape pull off some of the paint. So I'm going to go ahead and use some filling putty or glaze putty right here along this seam just to smooth that down, and then I will block sand that area while that's drying.
Right here where the arrow's pointing out is where the ridge on the supersonic line, where you can see actually the angle difference between the new fender and the old fender. I started out with the orbital sander and just sanded down this area of the car just to get it nice and smooth. Once I got that done, I went ahead and moved to a sanding block, which is 180 on one side and 320 grit on the other side, and I used that to sand down the rocker panel. The 2K primer actually did a pretty good job of smoothing up, but it also clumped up quite a bit, so I had to use an air compressor to blow out all the surfaces pretty regularly on the sandpaper. And as I continued to sand down on the car, just to get all the surfaces nice and smooth. This happened over several minutes, and kept cleaning the pieces with both air, and then I would also wipe them down with some Prep-All just to get rid of some of the surface contaminants that were on the car. And you can see me sort of wiping it down here with a cloth. It is really nice seeing the car come together all in one color. If you like what you see, go ahead and click that like button. And go ahead and subscribe too, that would be super great. And turn on your notifications. I have been trying to upload a video every Friday, and I'm going to continue that on for at least the next month or two. And you see me putting on glazing putty right now.
Well, that's fun. I bet you can't hear me very well. Hold on. Oh man. So went ahead and sanded this whole area down and that down. I don't really care as much about the finish of the rocker panel as long as the paint sticks to it. So I've sanded that down with 320, it's good. There's a whole bunch of little pinholes here in some of the paint work, and so I went ahead and put glazing putty on this. My sandpaper has been globbing down pretty quickly with primer, so I've had to blow it out on multiple occasions. But I've got this largely sanded down, and then I've got that done. So I'm going to keep sort of looking around. I think this looks like it's maybe a little bit too high right here, so I might try to hit it with a hammer, sort of bring it in a little bit to cure this low spot. But other than that, I think this is looking pretty good. Once this dries and I get to sanding it, I'm just going to do a light sanding. I'll go ahead and hit this with yellow, and then it'll be time, once I get that all on, to put the doors back on, and then move to the back of the car where I'll finalize painting the rear and then everything else. So, but yeah, moving forward.
I did some work off camera.
So I put the little bit of glazing putty on, and then I went ahead and sanded it down. Now I'm going to mask off this area really well as get the tack paper out and make for sure that I got all of the residue off of this. I'll mix up a little bit of paint, and then I'll paint this whole area. Again, really concerned about this, less about this. We'll see how it turns out though. I don't know, maybe it'll be fine.
Over these next few shots, you can see how frustrated I am because I accidentally let the hose hit the rocker panel as I painted. So, super awesome, and I'm super happy. Well, this is going to go ahead and finish out this video. I go ahead and finish painting the rocker panel here, as well as a little bit on the back fender, mainly just trying to clean out the rest of the gun. I think this turned out well, although I did have those marks in the rocker panel. If you like what you see, go ahead and tune back in next week where we go ahead and start putting back on the doors. Thanks for tuning in.